Opponent sends back out Registeel into a loaded Golurk because they are completely core broken. No Bonfire fires off the dynamic punch, rocking the tin can below half health. The opponent needs to be on flash cannon to have any chance of hitting us for meaningful damage. The zap cannon double resisted Golurk gets the mud slap farm down. Feed me that annihilate as it's about to be straight in and straight out. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have an absolutely insane shoutcast from my good friend and fellow content creator No Bonfire Ahead. I'm going to put it out there, you will not find better Ultra League battles than this anywhere on YouTube because he is bringing that straight fire. The team comp may seem somewhat wacky on paper. We are triple weak to ice. We've got a flying type in the lead, running a full flying moveset. You might think that's going to leave you completely walled by things like steel types. However, you probably don't know too much about Shadow Honchkrow. Let me tell you, Shadow Honchkrow does not care about typings. A Shadow Brave Bird will land for huge damage on absolutely anything. No Bonfire Ahead has opted for a double ground backline. We've got Shadow Hippowdon operating as the safe switch and Shadow Golurk in the closer position. Golurk, another Pokemon we don't see too commonly. However, when you do see it, it's normally running Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch, a dreadful move. Gengar makes it look somewhat viable because it's huge attack stack. Golurk also very attack weighted, but we are running that Hail Mary of Poltergeist and the coverage move of Dynamic Punch. Need I say more? Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, today's features battle of the Spice Lord. No Bonfire Ahead finds himself a core breaker Tapu Fini due to the fairy typing, resisting the quick move of Snarl, and our backline double weak to water. No Bonfire Ahead invest the Protect Shield, shielding up the incoming Surf, and then he's going to overfarm and fire off the Sky Attack bait. Sky Attack forces the Protect Shield Honchkrow, able to outpace the Brave Bird. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not get that Tapu Fini off my screen. That's how you deal with a core breaker. We see the safe switch into Hippowdon to answer Venusaur. The opponent shows Registeel, and they concede the match. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see the Ice type in the lead. However, our double ground backline does pretty well into Sandslash due to the fact they're part steel. We send out Hippowdon, the opponent answers with Poliwrath, and we instantly get shield advantage, firing off the Scorching Sands. We see No Bonfire Ahead instantly click the no shield, tanking the Icy Wind like an absolute boss. The Hungry Hippo able to reach the second Scorching Sands, getting some very meaningful chip damage onto this shiny Poliwrath. Poliwrath able to get the counter farm down. Despite Honchkrow being a flying type, running Snarl, we have zero fast move pressure into Poliwrath. We send back out Honchkrow. Honchkrow not going to appreciate this Icy Wind. My god, is this bird so glassy. No Bonfire Ahead not messing around. Going straight for the Sky Attack, looking to get Poliwrath out of here. And we're going to instantly pivot into Golurk. The opponent temporarily sends out Sandslash, then pivot out into Skeledirge. And Golurk completely core breaking. We see the instant shield deployed. The opponent full sends the Shadow Ball. Golurk looking for that full Mud Slap farm down, which we get, but we leave insanely low. The opponent sends back out Sandslash, opt to throw a charge move, which is a huge mistake. The opponent should have committed to their fast move beatdown. They did not. Golurk now doubled up on dynamic punches. The opponent correctly shields the first, but Golurk says there's plenty more of where that came from, and the second one is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle. No Bonfire Ahead leads Shadow Honchkrow into another Ice type. Are you serious? We see the pivot into Hippowdon. The opponent opts to stay in, so No Bonfire Ahead takes the initiative, goes straight for the Rock type Weather Ball, getting the Wall Rain below half health. No Bonfire Ahead going to be shielding up the incoming Icicle Sphere. The Hippo actually insanely spammy, actually able to outspeed this Walrus. We go straight for the next Rock-type Weather Ball, forcing the opponent's first protection. The opponent heavily overfarms before firing off the Icicle Sphere. No Bonfire Ahead actually going to go all in on the Hippo and look to get the opponent's final Protect Shield or the knockout. Hippowdon fires off the next Rock-type Weather Ball. Wall Rain invest that Protect Shield. The opponent looking for that full Powder Snow farm down, but Hippowdon's like, nah, not today, trainer. Hippo able to win the 2 shield. Hippowdon got access to Sand Attack a few seasons ago now, but I honestly think that is one of the best move updates we've ever had, as it's turned Hippo from an absolute meme pick into an actual decent meta threat. Hold up, boom incoming. The opponent tried to catch a Shadow Punch, which we're not running. Golurk fires off the Poltergeist, level 50, maxed out Talonflame, gets one shot vanquished, back to their Pokeball. Holy Poltergeist, what a nuke. Defense Deoxys now forced to start debuffing their own attack, firing off psycho boosts. Honchkrow might be glassy, but Rockside now just simply isn't going to get the job done. I think if they wasn't debuffed, it'd be pretty close, to be honest. As even a 4-stage debuffed Rockside come pretty close to knocking out, but Honchkrow survives, fires off the Brave Bird, and gets in on the boom action, with no bonfire head, advancing to 3-0 in the set, heading into the next battle. I'm fighting the temptation to say we found ourselves another core breaker. However, let's be real, when you're on this level of spice, it might look like an algorithm, but in reality, most things are pretty bad for you. We force ourselves, early shield advantage, and then send out Hippowdon. The opponent very happy to stay in, fire off the Hydro Cannon, which we shield. The Penguin able to outpace to the second, and no bonfire head now finds himself in a tricky situation where he's very quickly gone all shields down. He heavily overfarms. The opponent tries to catch a Scorching Sands onto Dragonite. Great composure. We fire off the Rock-type Weather Ball. Hippowdon already at the second, and the opponent now in a tough spot themselves. The opponent just chooses to completely sack Dragonite. Hippowdon still has residual energy good to go, so if the Penguin does return, we are going to be able to outpace. Back out comes the Penguin. We go straight for the next Rock-type Weather Ball, and the opponent also finds himself in a shieldless game. Hippowdon ranked pretty high in Ultra League. It was around 50 last season. I haven't checked this season. We don't see it too commonly, and I've got no idea why, as it looks like an absolute monster. Golurk gets the mud slap farm down. Out comes Ampharos, and stay in school, kids. Learns a count. We catch the brutal swing. Back onto Honchkrow. The opponent doesn't go for the undercharge. They get the Volt Switch farm down. Golurk able to come in, fire off one mud slap and the dynamic punch, and the win streak continues. GG's, and thanks for playing. Very nicely done by No Bonfire Head. Heading into the next battle. We see some Shadow on Shadow Crime. Honchkrow into Poliwrath. Look at these neutral counters. Holy. This is only 6 counters, so I assume they're on Ice Punch. It's actually a power-up punch. No bonfire head with huge cojones. Who runs power-up punch in Ultra League? We're able to survive, fire off the Sky Attack, forcing us early shield advantage, and we see the pivot into the Hippo. Are we going to call another power-up punch? No bonfire head actually correctly shields on the Icy Wind. If we would have got baited there, that would have been brutal. Hippowdon now over farms, fires off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. This Poliwrath are running through our team. The opponent fires off the next Icy Wind, securing the knockout. We're going to be forced to send out Golurk, as this Poliwrath's 2-stage boosted. So Honchkrow probably die to a singular counter. No bonfire head sends out Golurk. He's going to call the Icy Wind. Please don't bait the opponent like a savage bait with the power-up punch, but they're unable to reach another move. Golurk already down to around 60% health, only from double resisted counters. The opponent sends out Ampharos, then pivot out into Sandslash, sacrificing it to the Pokegod. Sandslash straight in and straight out. Golurk able to outpace the dynamic punch, and Golurk will be sweeping this back line. No power-up punch Poliwrath will be beating us today, and that clutches up an insane 5-0. Let's go. In the next battle, we found ourselves quite a nice lead, as we are actually double resisting the quick move of Mud Shot. However, I don't think we're going to tank this Body Slam very well. Oh my days, that is Ultra League, and Body Slam did like 60%. Undeterred, no bonfire head, full sends the Brave Bird, which lands. We then see the pivot into Hippowdon, and we're able to snipe before the opponent responds. Out comes Tapu Fini. No bonfire head going straight for the Scorching Sands, which forces a Protect Shield and gets the attack drop. No bonfire head, much like me, must pray daily to them RNG gods, as that is a huge attack drop. We then shield up the Surf. No bonfire head looking to go straight for the next Scorching Sands, which hopefully goes unshielded, as we need as much chip damage on this thing as we can get. Despite Hippowdon finding itself in a type negative matchup, it's managed to get Tapu Fini into the red Surf, does secure the knockout. We send out Golurk. Out comes Guja. We attempt to catch an Aqua Tail onto Honchkrow unsuccessfully. We get Dragon Breath farm down. No bonfire head's like, you've got me, and we're going to move swiftly on. In the next battle, we see the ever annoying Squid in the lead. Of course, with 2 ground types in the back, no bonfire head opts to save switch into Hippo, goes straight for the Scorching Sands, forcing us early shield advantage. Once again, RNG luck absolutely on our side, getting the attack drop, which is only a 30% chance. Although, speaking of which, the opponent also gets that 30% chance, and then save switch into Greedent. I already know what's going to be in the back. Of course it's going to be Guzzlord, because every copycat, every trainer that has no idea what to run just copies something that Homeslice Henry puts out, and this was his team from like 2 seasons ago. No bonfire head was also able to lower the attack of this chunky little squirrel, which means Honchkrow is now going to be able to survive 2 body slams and not be in danger of getting Mud Shot farm down, which is very nice because this squirrel's so spammy. They're already at the double body slam. We're still in the red, but not in danger of getting farmed down. No bonfire head Goes straight for the Sky Attack, looking to get this squirrel out of here. Sky Attack doesn't quite knock out, and we see the Simul swap of Golurk into Guzzlord. It's at this point in the battle where No Bonfirehead is going to have to start shielding essentially everything, as Golurk getting torn apart by these Dragon Tails. We shield up the Dragon Claw, farm up, throw the Dynamic Punch on the CMP side. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. Get that Guzzlord out of here, and it looks like a win con can be found. Despite us being very low on HP, these poison jabs are resisted, and these mud slaps tearing through Tentacruel. Tentacruel might think it's thick, but it's very quickly going to find out it is not thick enough. We get the full mud slap farm down, pivot out into Honchkrow, get the snarl farm down, and we take that game. In the next battle, a very hard loss lead, but two very good response in the back. We see the instant pivot into Hippowdon, drawing out the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death. Hippowdon, very happy to see this thing, as we've got that rock type coverage. The first rock type weather ball forces the opponent's first protect shield. It looks like No Bonfirehead sticking to his strategy of saving shields for Golurk, and we've actually hit CMP, which is a very nice play, meaning no free turn sneak for the opponent. And now, if we get new mechanic, we are actually going to be able to win the 1-0. Oh man, of course, we don't get new mechanics. We die at the charge move, and we send back out Honchkrow. Honchkrow going to be shielding up the incoming flame charge, and these boosted incinerators are going to do absurd damage. Each incinerate was doing like 20% of our HP. Honchkrow able to reach the Sky Attack, and finally Talonflame is removed from the field of play. We send out Golurk with a protect shield to hide behind. Nature's madness is going to have to be respected, and it's now Golurk looking to nuke whatever's in the back. The opponent's final Pokemon is Typhlosion. Typhlosion very quickly going to be straight in and straight out. Golurk going to mud slap farm down Tapu Koko, and we pick up another glorious dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. I said earlier in the video that I think Hippowdon's actually pretty slept on in this meta. That team was triple weak to Hippo. In the next battle, we see the basic bitch Tin Can in the lead. PV Poke's #1 ranked pick, Registeel. Not fantastic for our lead, so we're going to save switch into what else other than the glorious Hippo. This is a pretty neutral matchup, and you can see that the second Scorching Sand is going to come very close to actually knocking out Giratina. We tank the next Dragon Claw. No Bonfirehead going to heavily overfarm and go for that kill shot. I don't think this is quite going to be lethal, but I imagine the opponent's shield wanting to keep that super positive alignment, and they do. We're actually able to reach the next Scorching Sands. Are we actually going to flip the 0-1 shield? I guess we're never going to find out, as the opponent opts to 2 shield in the mid game. Unless the opponent has a really hard answer for Golurk, we should be sitting in the driver's seat here. If Registeel is on the standard moveset of Zap Cannon and Focus Blast, both charge moves are double resisted due to Golurk's Ghost ground typing. For those of you looking to get your head around typings, I'd highly recommend learning them. Ghost double resist fighting, and ground double resist electric. We see No Bonfirehead bank the Brave Bird for the road and send out Golurk. They've shown their moveset, so we know they haven't got Shadow Sneak. We tank the Dragon Claw. The opponent sends out Annihilate. No Bonfirehead just needs to be careful of the opponent attempting to make a catch. We see No Bonfirehead invest a final protect shield, blocking up the incoming Night Slash. The opponent does give up switch, sending out Registeel again. No Bonfirehead being super patient, fires off the Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch rocks the Tin Can deep into the red. Moment of truth. Do they have Flash Cannon? No, they don't. It's just the Zap. An easy tank for Golurk. Golurk commits to the Mud Slap farm down, leaves with the Poltergeist, and Poltergeist, of course, easily going to knock out the 8. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see the Battle of the Flyers. Not a favourable matchup for Honchkrow. You can see we don't tank these incinerators particularly well, and we offer very little fast move pressure. However, we are able to outpace to the Sky Attack, and we force ourselves early shield advantage. As always, we see the pivot into Hippowdon. This could be a Brave Bird last second. We respect it. We shield up the fly, and out comes Giratina. We've already seen previously this is by no means a bad matchup for the Hippo. These Scorching Sands really chunk, and this matchup becomes even better if you can get the attack drop. Unfortunately, RNG luck not in our favour this time. In an ideal scenario, we'd love to force the final shield of Giratina, which opens up the door to Poltergeist, that flying Firebird of Death. Because without Hippo out of the way, we haven't really got any way of getting rid of it, unless of course we can reach a Brave Bird. We fire off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands doesn't force that shield. We actually see a very heads-up player banking of the Rock-type Weather Ball and a pivot back into Honchkrow. Honchkrow just about able to survive the Dragon Claw. However, we're going to get Incinerate farm down, and this is looking like a very rough spot to be in. I guess we're going to have to send out Golurk and then look to snipe for a Rock-type Weather Ball. We actually opt to send out Hippo, go straight to the Rock-type Weather Ball. If the opponent shields, I think this is game over. The opponent does shield. No Bonfirehead's going to say no thank you, and we're going to move swiftly on. In the next battle, we see G-Weezy in the lead. Two very nice answers in the back. We see the save switch into Hippowdon, and we're answered by Poliwrath. I imagine the opponent will shield this first move, knowing it will do the most damage, as Poliwrath, of course, is one of the very annoying debuff Pokemon. The opponent does stick to the script, shielding up the Scorching Sands, no Bombardhead, actually choosing to shield his Hippo, which is quite rare for him, wanting to get off some more damage onto Poliwrath. We fire off the next Scorching Sands, but after the Icy Wind debuff, it isn't going to knock out. We do leave Poliwrath in the red, which is Mud Slap farm down range. Hippo has done its job. Icy Wind does secure the knockout. Of course, we can't Snarl farm down, but we can definitely get the Mud Slap farm down before they reach another move. Golurk gets a very nice running start. I highly doubt G-Weezy re-enters the battlefield. Holy cow, the opponent sends out Tentacruel, ABA weak to ground. We see no Bombardhead attempt to catch a Scald, but caught in the animation. He burns a final Protect Shield. He's then going to continue to farm up. No Bombardhead then waits the turn, makes the catch like a savage, catching the Scald onto Honchkrow. The opponent then pivots back out into G-Weezy. G-Weezy looking for that Fairy Wind farm down, but not before Honchkrow reaches the Brave Bird. Brave Bird forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We've got the Poltergeist banked. We certainly won't be losing CMP. Poltergeist gets that one-hit KO. We Mud Slap farm down Tentacruel and take that game. In the next battle, finally no Bombardhead wins a lead, catching the Ghost type. Although this matchup doesn't look as clean as you would think, the Hexes don't even look resisted, and that serve looked much more like a Shadow Hydro Cannon. No Bombardhead going for the kill shot, falls in the Brave Bird. Brave Bird! Oh, unfortunately gets shielded. No Bombardhead happy to shield the serve, wanting to get his boom. No Bombardhead farms up again, throws on the CMP tie. Is the opponent willing to two-shield their lead? They are not. We claim our big boom, and we're seeing the instant pivot into Hippowdon. Temporarily comes out G-Weezy, and we bait out Mandibuzz. My God, are we glad to see this thing here, as Golurk wants no part of this flying Vulture. The combination of ground and rock is very rarely resisted by something completely. You have to run something like a ground and grass type like Torterra, or even a fighting grass type like Breloom, to be able to completely wall this thing. I think that's why Stunfisk reigned supreme in the Great League for so long. It's just ability to hit almost everything for at least neutral. I must say I've been so impressed with Hippowdon on the save switch in this video. She's been putting in so much work setting up the back line. We're actually going to see no Bombardhead once again make a savage catch, catching back onto Honchkrow. This is still quite an ambitious Mud Slap farm down. I don't think we're going to Mud Slap farm down before they reach a charge move, although the opponent actually not wanting to get farmed down, not knowing what we have in the back, instantly pivot out into G-Weezy, not wanting to give us any free farm. No Bombardhead smiling ear to ear, tanks the first brutal swing. We're going to be able to shield the second, Mud Slap farm all the way down, and we should be able to outpace that annoying Vulture to the back-to-back charge moves, as long as we can survive the snarls. Back out comes Mandibuzz. We fire off the first Dynamic Punch, which of course will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. We actually go for the wham bam combo play, serving up the Big Mac, and the Fries Rock type Weather Ball is going to pick up the dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. Another beautifully played game. Make sure you go check out No Bombardhead. He is linked down below. In the next battle, we see some Shadow and Shadow crime, very much not in our favour. Honchkrow able to fire off the Sky Attack on the CMP's eye. Sky Attack forces the Protect Shield. And I guess we're just going to have to let this go, as I doubt we survive the Dragon Breaths to reach the second. No Bombardhead agrees, just sacking Honchkrow and sends out Hippowdon. Hippowdon going straight for the Rock type Weather Ball, looking to get this Dragonite out of here. The opponent actually makes a very nice catch, catching onto Feraligatr, but it's very nice to bait this thing out, as of course Golurk would be absolutely destroyed by the combination of Shadow Claw and Hydro Cannon spam. Hippowdon throughout this video has done such a great job of baiting out all the things Golurk doesn't want to see. I've been able to put in so much work against them. The opponent unwilling to shield Gator, choosing just to sack it and send back out Dragonite. Dragonite shields up the Rock type Weather Ball. No Bombardhead unfortunately loses CMP. Great counting from the opponent. No Bombardhead happy to shield up the Dragon Claw, looking to get off some chip damage. I don't think this is going to be quite lethal. It isn't quite enough to knock out. We see the Simultop Golurk into Ninetales. It's going to be a race. Who will get there first? We're able to reach the Dynamic Punch on the CMP side. Dynamic Punch going to pick up that one-hit KO. Can we Mud Slap farm down Dragonite? Yes, we can. And we're going to be able to take that game. Another very, very well played game from No Bombardhead. And it pains me to say that is going to draw to a close today's Shoutcast. What a submission from No Bombardhead. What a fantastic player. showcasing fantastic skills with incredible spice. He is a fellow content creator. As I've said previously, go check him out. He's linked down below. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you'd like your battles featured on my channel. Link to a battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.